and obviously an essential oil lover. So I've been using essential oils for a long time, and I got into them because my kids, I could see that they needed me to use natural products around the home. That was kind of like the catalyst. And then when I found doTERRA essential oils, I was like, these are so much more than just like something to clean my house with. I was at a point in my life where I had 3 kids. I think Saley was 2. So I had a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 4-year-old all at home with me all of the time. And we lived in a town where we have no family here. And I didn't really have friends because I hadn't joined any mums groups at that point. And all my work friends, well, they were at work. So I isolated myself a lot. And my oldest boy is, he's very unpredictable in his behavior. And so I got a lot of anxiety around that and not wanting to go out. And then throw on top of that, I had really low emotional intelligence. So all this stuff that I'm talking about, I've learned in the last, 8 years since he was born, and particularly really engrossed myself in it in the last 4 years by using my essential oils. So, no matter where you're at, you can always pick this up and start working with it. And now it's, I love talking about the emotional aspect of the oils, and I just get so much fizz out of it. So that's what we want to share with you tonight.
Awesome. And for those of you that don't know me, I am Bernadette. You can find me over at Under the Willow Tree. I'm an aromatherapist, mum of 3 kids, and loving using essential oils. So I've incorporated them into my life, and my passion with those has become, I love knowing the how and why they work. That's originally why I went down the path of becoming an aromatherapist when I got into essential oils. But now I love how I can see how they work on me as a whole being and my family and those around me. And that's how I work, is looking at, okay, so this is showing up for you physically. What's that drawing out of you emotionally? And what's the energetic or the spiritual connection in that? And then putting that puzzle together. I love doing that with people and like joining all those dots, because I've found with myself, the benefits are far greater reaching. So I can do something and work on the physical and have slight improvements for a while, or I can work solely on the emotional aspect of something and have improvements there. Or then I try and go the other way and work on the energetic aspect of it and have some improvement. But when I put all of them together, that's when I see the big change. And so that's with things that I would think in the past have been a physical thing, like it could be a skin complaint. But then when I delve into it, it's like being a detective of what is my body telling me? And that just really lights me up. And when I think now, times when I wish I had essential oils were when I was without a lot of my support network close in a physical sense. So when I had my oldest child, who's nearly 7 now, when he was 3 weeks old, we moved to central Queensland, to a town I'd never been to a place where I didn't know anyone. So now I think if I'd had essential oils, I would have supported myself a little better. Like I know better now, so I do better. But they help me come out of my shell. They help me get out and about and meet people, or just get out and about. I don't necessarily have to meet people while I'm out and about, but just that I do something for myself in the morning as soon as I wake up by using my essential oils to set myself up for success. So they've become a routine within my life that has created more space. So it's opened me up to more opportunities of what's available to me in life. So that's like a little bit of my essential oil journey.
And they're just amazing. Like I love actually having these at home at my fingertips, so that like you don't have to go out to get the thing that you need. It's just at home ready for you. And like, especially when you've got kids and things are up and down all the time, it's nice to kind of have like a nanny. I kind of think of my oils as like a nanny, you know, like they fix up those scratched knees and they patch up that, you know, argument and fight. And, you know, they help me cook dinner and all that sort of stuff. So they're absolutely, I could not live without them now. So let's start talking about some of these emotional oils. And we're going to actually go through the oils in this brand new emotional wellness pack, which is unbelievable. It is so fantastic. I'm very excited that doTERRA have put this together for us as a starter pack, because honestly, it is the most amazing starting point, especially for where we are now as a society. And there is so much emotional up and down going on for everyone, no matter where you're at. We're all connected in some way to someone that's kind of suffering, and then that has an effect on us. So, you know, I think this is such a nice way to support people that are in that space, whether they're, you know, they are locked down, they are separated, or they're afraid, or, you know, they're just unsure about what's going to happen. So the first one we're going to talk about is Adaptive. Now, this is a brand new oil. It is absolutely phenomenal. It's our Tranquil blend. So it's a blend of essential oils. So all of the oils we're going to talk about tonight are synergistically created by doTERRA. They haven't just gone in and said, that one looks good, that one looks good, that one looks good. We need 2 more, we'll get those 2. They've actually had a look at and broken down each oil into its chemical constituents. And if you want to know more about that, Bernadette's your girl for that, not me. She's the science gal. But they've looked at, okay, we want to create an essential oil that reduces stress, that actually helps us to cope with change, that can, you know, ground us down and keep us happy. And which chemical properties do we need to do that? And then they have a look at the essential oils that have those. Then they look at the aromatic profiles, and then they bring the whole thing together. So absolutely, there's a science to this. And you end up with this beautiful smelling essential oil that has got wild orange, lavender, copaiba, spearmint, magnolia, rosemary, neroli, and sweet gum. So for me, when I smell this, there's like an initial mint, but it's quite soft because it's spearmint. And then you smell the citrus, and then you smell those florals. I wasn't, and it's phenomenal. I put this one on me all day, and it's like everyday calm. It's like, okay, well, I'm just going to wake up. This is like the foundation that I'm putting down for the day. It's going to be calm. It's going to be peaceful. I'm looking for a bit of tranquility. And then I'm going to work out what I want on top of that for the rest of my day.
So when we're looking at these blends, so Alison mentioned that they're synergistic blends. So this magical thing happens with essential oils when you start putting them together. So you can have, like we talked, that there's lavender in there, and you probably know lavender as being relaxing. And then we've got the wild orange, which is it's happiness. That's what it's doing in this blend. And so if we look at anything coming from the tree, so the fruit that the tree gives, that is joy, that is happiness that it's going to bring to us. That's what it's doing there in a blend. But these oils all have their individual role that they do, but then when they come together, it's amplified, it's epic. So it's like you could have a netball team. I don't know if any of you are sporty, but you know, you've got all your individual players, and you could have like a team of wing attacks, and they would make a rubbish netball team because they would all be wanting to do the one thing. But when they all come together being amazing in their own right, they create an epic team. And so that's what these oils, they're coming together as a team to work together to boost each other up, to pull out the strengths in each other, and to really work as a messenger within your body in that way. So yeah, the orange is bringing the happiness in this adaptive blend. The lavender is the relaxing. The copaiba is the chill. Like, I have straight up copaiba oil. Copaiba is your chill oil that you need. Spearmint actually, energetically or emotionally, is the oil of confident speech. So it helps you to vocalize. So when you're in a stressful situation, you might find that you kind of close off and hold back to go into that protective mode for yourself. Spearmint is going to allow you to voice your opinion, to vocalize what it is you're feeling, which when you think about children, and they may not always know how to vocalize what's happening. So spearmint's going to help draw that out. Then you've got magnolia, which is compassion. So it brings out that compassionate communication. Rosemary is wonderful for focus, because in stressful situations, we do need an element of focus. And then your neroli helps you with connection, or to reconnect with the situation. So that's like all of that together becomes our adaptive blend to help you adapt to a stressful situation.
And I've actually even used this one, not just for emotional support, but for physical support. I was getting a really sore elbow, and so I looked at oils that would help with that inflammation and pain, but it just kept lingering, and it just wouldn't go away. And for some reason I was like, I'll just put adaptive on it, and it cleared it up straight away. So I think it's an oil that it's a relatively new oil, so we're still discovering the potential of it and what it's going to bring. And doTERRA have started doing some in-house studies on the effects of the essential oil, particularly in relation to people studying and undergoing exams in stressful situations, because that's something that they can create in creating a stressful environment where there's results and, there's a desired outcome for the participants and stuff. So it's a fascinating oil, and I'm excited to see where it goes and what it creates for people. But for me, definitely, it's just like, I just want to start my day with this. And I usually put it in the diffuser, and I usually just swipe a little bit behind my ears when I first wake up. Straight up, that's how I start my day, and it's unbelievable for that foundational wellness. Okay, we're going to keep with these kind of calm oils, and we're going to go to balance. Most people have heard of balance because it's our grounding blend, and it is probably one of the number one oils for when you've got kids, because it's quite gentle, but it really, really packs a punch when it works, in terms of just bringing everyone's energy back in and just collecting it back up so you can feel more grounded. So this one, and actually this one's got coconut oil in it. So, if you need to, you can use this one straight from the bottle, because it has already got that, that carrier oil in there. We've got spruce, camphor, another one I can't pronounce, Bernadette, you're going to have to do that one, and chamomile. Oh, and as osmanthus. So heaps of calming oils. We're thinking about trees. We're thinking about really, everybody would have had an experience with chamomile in its sweet but soothing properties. So that's what you get when you smell this oil. It's super sweet and delicious, but then it's not overly sickly sweet, because we've got those grounding tree oils in there as well.
So balance is one of my favorite oils. I have a real affinity to the tree oils, and the more I looked into them, the more I realized why. So I'm just going to get a little bit sciencey nerd on you just for a second, and I promise I'll bring you all back. So black spruce, which is one of the oils in this blend, there's a lot of studies out there to show that its main chemical compound in there has the same effect in your body as if you were doing forest bathing. So going for a walk in the forest and having that outdoors time, it triggers that same response within your body. And when it triggers that response, what it does is it allows your brain to get into its theta brainwaves, where you do a lot of your repairing It's good for your immune function, super relaxing. So that's the real sciencey part about it. So for me, balance is that for when you can't get out into nature and spend all that time, you know how amazing you feel when you're on a bushwalk or in a forest? Balance brings that to you. Balance brings that into your home. So when I start my day, I start it with balance on the soles of my feet so that I have that connection with nature. And it kind of takes me back to that childhood way of how I hardly ever wore shoes. And I was outside and I was running around in the grass or I was swimming in the pool. I just had that connection to the outdoors. And I feel as you grow up, you lose that, you know, you have to wear shoes places and, you know, you can't just be running wild out there. So balance for me is that oil. It brings back that deep-rooted connection within me to be in nature without having to always be in nature. So it's really beautiful in that way that it gives us that. And I also just wanted to say that the goal with these oils is not to be happy 100% of the time. That's not the goal here, because that's not being in charge of your emotions, because we want to feel our emotions. We want to authentically be in them. But what essential oils help me do is to process those emotions and then progress. So I'm spending less time sitting in them or becoming that emotion and that everything is happening to me. I'm now more empowered to go, okay, so that thing happened. I feel these things. I'm using my oils. I'm moving on. I'm choosing this next phase. So I just wanted to put that out there, that the goal is not 100% happy up here all the time, because that's also not authentic living.
I just want to add something into balance. I feel like it's like it's almost like the emotional reset, in terms of, like, it's easy to explain it with the child. You know, they have these emotional outbursts, or sometimes they're called tantrums, or they have these moments where they can't cope. And we as adults have those as well. Balance just brings it back, wipes you clean of that, and then lets you go on to the next thing of dealing with it. Because, you know, if you've ever tried to calm someone down when they're out of control, it doesn't work. You can't, there's no rational connection or conversation that can happen. So balance helps to bring that back, so that then that can happen at a quicker rate, like Bernadette was saying. So we're going to stay with the grounding oils, and we're going to talk about lavender peace. So this one for me, I just think of sleep. It's known as our restful blend. And it is absolutely jam-packed full of all of our grounding sleep oils. And I have definitely been caught out with thinking, oh, I won't use lavender peace because that's just for sleep and I don't want to sleep right now. It's also for really, really heightened emotional states. So like if you need some really, really potent, acute calming down, then you would go to your lavender peace. We've got lavender, cedarwood, hoe wood, ylang ylang, marjoram, Roman chamomile, vetiver, vanilla, which brings that beautiful sweetness to it, and then Hawaiian sandalwood. So once again, a lot of tree oils. And my husband uses this one when he's on night shift to help him sleep during the day, because that's obviously very counterintuitive for our body. And he finds that using this helps him get better rest. He still doesn't sleep, you know, for as long as he should. But he used to take a lot of sleeping tablets over the counter, and he could just feel the toll that those pharmaceuticals were taking on his body. So he swapped over to this and the Copaiba, and it's made a phenomenal difference to his ability to get sleep, and then also his mood, because you know, when you don't sleep and you know you've got to stay awake all night, you know, you tend to be in a space where your patience is thin.
So with lavender peace, one way we like to use this one, because it is lavender on steroids, pretty much. It's a powerhouse. So I'm just going to quickly show you. This is a diffuser. Now this is the older style one. Getting this kit, you'll get the newer one. But I'll just show you how easy it is. Inside, there's a little red marker. You fill the water up to that mark. And then one way that people may like to decide how much to put in is 1 drop of essential oil per hour you're going to run the diffuser. Or for me, it's about 1 to 3 drops I put in a diffuser for overnight in my kids' bedrooms. And beyond that, it would just depend on the space that you're looking at. So it's cents per drop, really, when you're looking at how much essential oil you're using per use. So the new pedal diffuser like this runs for 2 hours, 6 hours, or 12 hours intermittently. But what that does is when you're diffusing the essential oils and you're smelling them, they are traveling up your nose, obviously, and then also into your blood system through your lungs. But when they travel up through your nose and your olfactory system, they get into your brain. And they affect where you store your memories, or where you regulate your blood pressure and your heart rate. So when you're smelling something like lavender, it can help start to bring you into that level of calm. And then the next step you can do in this is you can use it topically. So with a little bit of coconut oil, so I use a fractionated coconut oil, and then I'll put it on the back of my neck. So then by using it topically, it's getting into the system. We talked about one of the oils in this blend is vetiver, and that is a super, super grounding oil. So it comes from the root of a grass, and this grass, to get the biggest, like the best potency of the oil from this grass, it takes 8 months to grow it. And it's grown in Haiti, so a developing country, where the farmers, when doTERRA asked them, actually, can you leave it in the ground a little bit longer because we know it's going to be better? The farmers are like, well, we really need to get paid. Like, we can't afford to leave this crop in the ground another 2 months. But the way that doTERRA source their oils is that they work with these farmers and they help them to form cooperatives, and they assure them of on-time and fair payments, which they did, and they showed the farmers. So now these farmers are able to get a better yield of higher quality essential oil, and we get the best quality essential oil we can because of that beautiful, it's called a co-impact sourcing relationship that doTERRA have there. And they worked with those farmers to find out what they needed within their communities to enable them to continue doing their farming work for generations. So they'll build, help them build medical centres, or schools, or get fresh running water. So it's this really beautiful relationship. But when you look at that 8 months that it takes to grow this grass to get this oil, when you get a bottle of vetiver, it feels like it takes about 8 months to get a drop of oil out of the bottle. But you can feel that love. It invites you to just slow down, just be present in that moment. So even the act of dripping the oil out of the bottles, it grounds you, it centers you, and it brings you back into that deep breath, which is like, just the way these oils work on so many different levels is so empowering and so impactful. And I just love that about them.
Okay, now we are going to go to the uppers. So we're going to talk about the oils that are there to uplift or bring up your mood, to help you feel as though, you know, you're kind of like bouncing around, dancing through the day, I guess. So let's talk about elevation first. It's really hard to show you guys these on these cameras. There we go. Elevation. So this is the Joyful blend. Absolutely, 100%. When I smell it, it's like, it is joy in a bottle. I don't even know how to describe the smell. It is just phenomenal. And this is one that I've actually been using a lot in this last week. I personally put it in some moisturizing lotion and put it all over my skin. Now, I will put a little bit of a disclaimer in there. It is, it's got citrus oils in here, so it can be photosensitive. So you do need to be careful when you're doing that. Obviously, it's still, you know, like cool enough that I'm not, you know, walking around in you know, a little singlet and stuff like that. So I don't have to worry so much, but you just need to be really careful using this on your skin and then going out in the sun. But it definitely makes you feel so happy. And I find that I use it a lot in that first week of my cycle, because sometimes we are not feeling the joy. And this really helps me. It's got clary sage in it, so we know that's fantastic for hormone support. But I can pair it with something like Clary Calm, and also for my hormones, but then use this for my mood. I also love to diffuse this one for my kids, especially if, you know, we've had a busy day, or, you know, I know that, you know, they went to bed late the night before and they're probably going to be tired when they wake up in the morning. I can put some of this in the diffuser, and I know that it's going to create that happy and uplifting mood, so that everyone can, even if they're not 100% their happy self, we can have a little bit more joy in our day. I found I was using this one a lot last week. I just got so disheartened over just everything that's happening at the moment, particularly in Australia and in Victoria. I just got so sad about it, and it really, really was like affecting me on a daily basis. So I started using the Elevation then, and it's absolutely lifted my mood so much. And I feel like now I'm in a place where I can do something to help instead of just being sad and you know, down in the dumps about it all.
So I talked before about how your anything that comes like of the tree, so the fruit, so the uplifting. So this one has a lot of those citrusy fruit oils, which are really, really good uppers. But also it has things in there like ylang ylang, which emotionally helps you get back to your inner child. So it helps you peel back those layers of grown-upness that get put on, it's a word, I'm making it a word, that get layered on top of us and kind of bring us down. So ylang ylang helps peel that off and get you back to that inner child, that fun-like nature. So when you're pairing that with these beautiful citrus oils that are so uplifting, it is magic. And I've been using Elevation with Adaptive, actually. It's really beautiful in the diffuser. So I'll put it in the morning, because especially on a school morning, I want enough get up and go and enough happiness for us to be having a really beautiful morning, but I don't want the kids to be all the way up here and too mega excited about, like, I don't know, the piece of Lego that they find and not getting ready for school. So by pairing Elevation with Adaptive, I find it's that balance that we can bring in there and start to really find that zone that works for us of a morning, which is, I don't know, I love when you find those little mum wins, when you can just like nail life.
I think also Elevation's probably one of those oils that I will just get and inhale straight from the bottle, and it's just like instantly I'm over that frustration, that anger, that overwhelm, whatever it was, like whatever that heavy emotion was, it's gone now, and I'm good. So plus it smells fantastic. Like if you put that in your diffuser, not only will you be feeling fantastic, but your neighbors are probably going to smell it too and be like, what's going on over there? I like the smell of that. And it's one that I diffuse a lot when I have people over, because the aroma of it hangs around for a long time. And I know that then when people walk into my home, they're being met by joy. Like they're being met by that beautiful, happy and uplifting aroma, and that it makes them feel good. So the last oil that we're going to talk about is Citrus Bliss. So this is like our energy. So when we wake up in the morning, we've had a late night, or the kids woke us up, or we've been working, or we're just feeling a bit stressed, and then that's affecting the amount of energy we have to kind of be motivated to get things done, it's the Citrus Bliss that we want to go to. And it's full of citrus oils, obviously wild orange, lemon, grapefruit, mandarin, bergamot, tangerine, clementine, and vanilla. So it is such a fresh aroma in its profile. And then the vanilla just gives it like this hint of something different. I have been pairing this one a lot with the Adaptive and using those two together. And I feel like it's like, yeah, okay, we're getting our energy back. We're adapting to whatever's going on. We're going with the flow in terms of the change and, you know, the uncertainty, because every day there's a different opinion or there's a different idea of the way we should do things or what's going on or what the facts and the figures are. And it's like, it's doing my head in. So the Citrus Bliss gives me the energy to cope, and the Adaptive helps me just deal with it. I also like to pair this one with a mint oil, and I'll put that in the diffuser, especially if I homeschool my kids. So there's only one morning of the week that we actually have to be out of the house at a certain time for our swimming lessons, which are at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday. So Citrus Bliss and peppermint is like, let's go, kids. It's getting ready. We're having breakfast. We're getting our swimmers on. We've got our towels and our goggles, and we're out the door by 8:30 so that we can, you know, I can get a coffee on the way and then we can go to swimming on time. So a really nice way to change up that morning vibe and give people the motivation to actually get dressed, get out of the house. Or if you're not going out of the house at the moment, just the energy to do something at home. Like maybe it's like, okay, I just want to have the energy to like go outside in the backyard or sit out on the balcony or do some craft with the kids. Like just, it will motivate you in a way and give you that little boost.
I love using citrus blends, especially throughout winter. So again, I talked about how balance for me is bringing nature into me. The citrus blends are bringing the sunshine into me. So I'm like, give me all that sunshine if I can't get it. But this blend, Citrus Bliss, has 5 of those uplifting, joyful oils. But then it has vanilla in it, and vanilla is not something you can get as a pure essential oil because it's an absolute and just the way that it's made, but it's still amazing. And what it does is it helps you to open the heart and the mind. So when you're bringing in all that joy, you need to have that open heart and mind space to allow the joy. Like you could throw so much joy at someone, but if they're not ready to receive it, it's just not happening. So yeah, that's what Citrus Bliss is going to help you do. It's also a beautiful oil for creativity. So if you work in some sort of creative capacity, or you like to create, you don't even have to work in that, but if you like being creative, Citrus Bliss helps draw that out because it's got that joyfulness in it. And it just helps you get past that self-doubt and get to that joy. So that's how it works with you to bring in that, absolute amazing joy. And it's known as an invigorating blend, so that gets you back to that motivation as well.
I think I've actually seen Citrus Bliss described as a fire starter. So if you feel like that's what you're needing at the moment, that like initial spark and then push to actually get you creating in the way that you know you are capable of or that you want to. Citrus Bliss is the oil for you. So they're the 5 oils that are available in this emotional wellness pack. So it's the Adaptive, the Balance, Lavender Peace, Elevation, and Citrus Bliss. And together you are looking at and supporting every single one of the all spectrums of the whole emotional roller coaster of life. Like it's all of the things there in one amazing pack. And then you get that amazing diffuser that Bernadette showed us before, the little petal, which has obviously been updated. And there is one thing that I would add to that pack, and that is the fractionated coconut oil, which I actually don't have with me here, so I can't get it. Maybe Bernadette will chat and I'll go and grab it.
I got it. Sorry, my headphone came out while I was doing it. So this is a fractionated coconut oil. So what that is it's a liquid coconut oil. And we use that when we're talking about using skin oils topically, like on our skin. So this does a few things. It helps to cover a greater surface area. It dilutes the essential oil to reduce any skin sensitivities. And it also holds the essential oil in suspension on your skin a little bit longer, so it gives it a greater time to absorb into your skin rather than evaporate off. So by using a carrier oil, it's a safe use of topical essential oils, but it's also getting you more bang for your buck because you're using less. So as an aromatherapist, like when I do a treatment, I might use under 10 drops for an entire body massage that takes an hour. So it's not much essential oil for like phenomenal effects. I put my essential oils into a roller. I think I've got one here. So you can put them into roller blends that you can make up yourself then I have like a perfume on the go. So I have like little rollers like this. So that just has a little roller ball in the top so I can just roll it on my skin. And that's how I have my perfume now. So I don't have any synthetics or anything like that. And especially if I'm using out of these 5 oils, I am sort of supercharging my emotional processing while I'm out and about and on the go. So that's another amazing benefit.
So I'm the same, and I keep like the ones that I know work well for me and the kids handy so that you can just grab it and put it on. And you'll actually get some of those roller bottles. If you want to grab a starter pack from Bernadette or I, you'll get some of those rollers as a gift. So that's really a fantastic way to kind of kickstart you. So that whole pack is $226. So you get those 5 oils and the diffuser. And then you just need to add the coconut oil, which is $16.50. So it's super affordable way to get started. Each of these bottles has 250 drops. So you're looking at a considerable length of time that you can use the oils for when you look at, like Bernadette was saying, a few drops in the diffuser when you're using it, up to 10 drops in one of those rollers, and then, getting that consistent support every single day. So to get your oils, you just need to reach out to the person that invited you along to this webinar. If you just randomly found it, then just contact either Bernadette or I. You can do that through the event. Or you can jump over my Facebook or social media handle is Alison Clark Numerology. And you can find Bernadette at Under the Willow Tree, and it's WILLO tree. And then once you get these oils into your home, you will get so much love and support to make sure that you actually understand what you're doing. You will have a personalized consultation with either of us to create a wellness plan so that you've got it right there in front of you, what you need to do in the morning, how you can use the oils through the day, and then a beautiful evening self-care routine that will blow your mind when you start to create that next level support. We'll also plug you into our support groups on social media so that you can ask questions and be in contact with hundreds of other amazing oil users that are there to love and support you. Did you want to add anything else, Bernadette?
No, I just think that, when you get started, when you choose you and choose to start doing things a different way, you get this whole tribe of supportive people, which is amazing. And you get that one-on-one support and that group support. There's also an app available that we gift to you, so you have something in your pocket on the go to know what on earth do I use oils for in this situation? There's an app. And we've also put together, for anyone that starts with this pack, Alison and I have put together a beautiful ebook for you. So if you're sitting there right now going, they said some really cool stuff, but I already have no idea what it is, and it has left my brain because I am a mum or I am just a busy person, we got you back. We made an ebook. So when you get started, you'll also get that's specific to these 5 oils that we've talked about tonight. So if you've got any questions, feel free to put those in the chat box now, or you can unmute yourself and you can ask. We're an open book with nothing's too random for us.
Actually, I had a tradesperson here the other day, and I was explaining something to her about the full moon, and she's like, "Oh, that sounds a bit hippie," and I was like, "Well, that's kind of the path I've gone down." I think also it's worth noting here that with that starter pack that we've just talked about, it's not just, oh, here's your oils and away you go. There is that support and education. And then if you do go through your balance and you use a whole bottle in a month, you know, you've got access to purchasing that at a wholesale price, which means that you will save money. And you get that access for a whole 12 months. If you start to use the oils at home and you're like, these are phenomenal, what else can I use and how else do I get these? You can start looking at doing these monthly orders, which is something that I do. And it's revolutionized our health and wellness, because I don't have to think about, oh, I've got to order from this website or this website. It's like all of the things I need for my physical well-being, for my emotional well-being, for my spiritual connection, for like just for things like personal care, like deodorant and shampoo and skincare and, you know, all of these, my supplements, I can get them all from this one place that gives me fantastic rewards for doing that. So that's another beautiful thing. And it's also worth mentioning that with a wholesale account, there's also this opportunity to earn an income, whether that be just enough to cover your order every month, whether that be something to supplement your current income, or maybe it's to replace your entire income because you're not enjoying your job. That opportunity is available. And once again, you get that ongoing support that's tailored to you. This whole thing is tailored to what you want. Like if you don't want to be, you know, if you want someone to message you every week and say, hey, use your oils, we can make that happen. If you just want someone to touch base with you every couple of months, we can also make that happen. So I really, really enjoy this whole thing. And that this is why I've aligned myself with a company like this, because all of the support's there, no matter what level you're at, or no matter how you want to go through with this.
And the good news for at the moment, for those that are like online shopping, is our warehouse. We actually have a warehouse in Australia. So we have actually 2 warehouses in Australia. So if you're on the East Coast, our warehouse is in Melbourne and they are still operating. So that is fine. And we also have a warehouse in Western Australia. And if we have anyone from New Zealand on here, you have your warehouse over there. So none of that has been impacted in terms of operational status. So we can still access our amazing oils.
Essential oils are essential. Absolutely. So that's it, guys. I would just want you to go away tonight thinking about, you know, even though we might not have, you know, a mental health or a mental illness, we all have mental health. And this is a beautiful way to step up and support your mental health and the ones around you, so that it doesn't turn into this space where, you know, there's a potential mental illness. I've been there. It's not fun. And, you know, we want to support you in every way possible to be able to make sure you don't go down there as well. So good night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We will have a replay available of this if you need it. So just contact Bernadette or I if you want to rewatch, or if you think about somebody that you think, oh my gosh, this friend, this family member, this person in my life needs to hear this, we can easily shoot it off to them as well. So thank you so much for joining us. Good night.
Thanks, guys. See ya.